Hello my loves, I'm Shah and welcome to Tarot with Love, your spiritual safe haven. In today's video, we are going to be looking at predictions for March. What does March have in store for you regarding career, love? I'm going to try and make it as in-depth as possible. I also have an 18 plus version of this video up. And if you are 18 plus and interested in that kind of topic, you can check. I will link it down below in the description box. Anyway, I'm so excited to be doing this video. I'm excited to do all my videos, but I'm like beyond excited for this video because I will be using Erin Morgenstern's Phantomwise Tarot. The Night Circus is one of my absolute favorite books. It's one of the books I read that got me out of a really long, really difficult reading slump. It's beautiful and I adore it, and I'm so happy to have my hands on this tarot deck, which I'm blessed enough to have been gifted to me by a very good friend of mine over on Twitter. So thank you, B, if you're watching this. Anyway, I will also link her Twitter down below because she is also a reader. She's an amazing reader, and you guys should support her if you feel called to do so. Okay, so here are your three groups. I've shuffled, but I haven't looked at the cards yet, so we'll look at them together when I introduce you to them. Okay, so group one. And by the way, guys, these cards are all like based on hand-painted paintings that Erin did herself. It's just gorgeous. It's such a work of art. So for my group one, the Eight of Cups. My group two, the Eight of Wands. And my group three, wow, okay, Justice. So these are the three groups. I'll give you a moment to meditate or really focus on which group or groups you feel the most called to. You can, of course, feel called to more than one. You'll never know where you'll find your messages. Before I leave, I would like to remind you all that this is a collective reading. The messages found here are not going to apply to everyone, nor should they. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and don't force anything if it doesn't fit, okay? Hi, my group one. If you are here, it means you've chosen the Eight of Cups. Let's see what March has in store for you. Okay, so I haven't for the last few videos I've been shuffling and pulling ahead of time, but I didn't for today just because I love the feel of this deck. I love everything about this deck, so I just wanted to shuffle live and do everything live because I feel that's the best way I can connect with this deck. It's a beautiful deck and it shuffles so beautifully. Okay, what's in store for my group one for March? What's in store for my group one for March? What's in store for my group one for March? Okay. All right, so already from the Eight of Cups, we can see that you are leaving something behind. You're letting go of something and walking towards better and bigger and the things that are meant for you. And for some of you, this is a relationship. For some of you, this is a job. For some of you, this is a living situation. But you are going to be saying goodbye to this. You're going to be letting this go because you know that this is no longer serving you. It's no longer good for you, what's best for you. And it may take a while for you to actually get to what's best for you, because as we can see with the collection of cards, we have the Eight of Swords, which depicts someone who is blindfolded and surrounded by knives. And when we look at this card, we can take it as seeing someone, or we can take it as denoting someone rather, who is restrained by their own, how do I say this? It's like a mental restraint. And so you're like, sure, now you have left this difficult situation, this difficult relationship, this painful experience, this painful past, but just because you physically left it doesn't mean that you've mentally left it. And in March, you're going to really have to deal with not so much the repercussions of the situation, but you're going to have to deal with its residuals. You're going to have to deal with the guilt it instilled in you. You're going to have to deal with the shame it instilled with you, the fear it instilled with you, the regret it instilled with you. You're going to have to deal with all of these things and like really face them, not just intellectualize them or speak about them in order to circumvent actually feeling your feelings. And so that's something we're really seeing being a very big theme for you in March, this upcoming March. Or well, we're in March right now. Happy March. I'm pretty sure it's spring in the northern hemisphere, so happy spring to those who are experiencing spring right now. But yes, this March is going to be one of a lot of change for you, a lot of fighting even, and not like physically fighting, but fighting against the old you, the present you, and or rather fighting against the old you as it fights against the future. You kind of like seeing who you could become, but knowing or feeling as if the past is safer, and so you have to stop yourself from returning to that past. Maybe for some of you, you've left your job and you want to start working from home, or you want to put your entrepreneurial idea into action, but you keep thinking about the risk. You keep thinking about what can happen if this fails. You're so controlled, and it's very valid because entrepreneurship is risky. It's a big risk to take because there's a lot of uncertainty in it. And so you'll find yourself thinking about how life was so much easier when you had that constant paycheck. And even if you have like a lot of savings up from when you were working, you still keep thinking, what if this business idea fails and now I only have my savings to rely on? What if I'll never get a job? What if this doesn't work out? And you're letting yourself be controlled by this fear to such an extent that you're not giving this business idea the trust it deserves, the respect it deserves, the belief that it deserves. Because if you trust in yourself, in this idea and the potential of this business to succeed, you are going to see great things. But I also feel like it's not enough for me to tell you this. Like, anybody can tell you, just believe in yourself. But realistically, believing in yourself can only take you so far. But we also have to look at, hi, so I'm back. I don't remember where I stopped off. There was construction, and I was not prepared for it at all. So usually there's been construction like in the morning and around 11. And so I take the morning to do my personal readings, and that's the same thing that I did today. And when it started to get to about 2, 3, and there was no construction, I figured I was safe. And so I started recording just for them to start construction at like 3:30. So I'm a bit frustrated, and I don't really remember where I stopped, but I'm going to try and backtrack and remind myself as much as possible. I also didn't want to watch the footage I recorded already because I didn't want to move like the camera placement. I didn't want it to become like be too different from the start of the video. Okay, so I do remember I was talking about like leaving a job behind, and being afraid of committing to this new path because it's just so different from what you're comfortable with, or what you're used to rather. And that's very fair and that's very valid, and it's going to be very fair and valid in March as well, because regardless of the change you're making, and with the tower we see that it's a big change, regardless of the change, it's something that you're going to really have to allow yourself to acclimate to really allow your body to get used to, your mind to get used to. Because if you've always been so caught in one lifestyle, of course it's going to be difficult to get used to a different lifestyle, whatever that different lifestyle is. And so with just the energy in general, there's a lot of changes coming to in March, and it's going to be a lot of good changes even when they don't seem like they are. And it's one of those situations where things are happening for you and not to you. One of those situations where your life has to get a bit harder before it can get easier. One of the situations where you're going to have to trust in divine timing, divine planning, in the knowledge that everything is going to work out for the best for you, because it will. And it's not going to be easy at all, whatever you're leaving behind. Some of you, like I said, are leaving behind a job, maybe a job that you've worked in for years. Some of you are leaving behind a relationship, or you've already left it and now you're trying to figure out how to like be by yourself in the world, or how to be someone who's not in this relationship. Some of you are taking this like really big leap of faith and moving out of your like current living situation, like moving away from family. And so whatever it is, it's going to be very difficult for a very long time, but not for a very long time rather, but for a lot of March. But in March, as much as there is difficulty and destruction, there's also time for rest. And with the Four of Swords, there's this reminder, or there's this reassurance that you are going to have this time to rest. Because with the Four of Swords, we're seeing somebody who, after all of these battles, gets to sleep and build up their strength in order to continue fighting, or to continue on this path, this time more prepared, more energized, more rested. You're not going to be left completely, you're not going to just be thrown in the deep end and left there. You're not going to drown, even when it feels like it. You're just going to have to trust that you made the right decision, and I feel like you did. Yes, walking away is difficult, but when you walk away with the idea that what you're doing is for the best for you, and you're very intentional about building a life that is the best life for you, then from those things, only the best is going to blossom. Okay, but let me pull more cards for you. March predictions for my group 1, please. March predictions for my group 1. Okay, the Page of Wands. So yeah, you're like literally on the cusp of a new beginning. You're how this deck shuffles. I love everything about this deck. Yeah. You're on the cusp of a new beginning. You're learning how to navigate things. You're learning how to navigate your new life, and that's why it may be very hard and may be very difficult, because you haven't experienced these things before. You've been an office worker for the past 5, 10, 15 years. You don't really know what it's like to run your own business. And so you have this passion, you have this idea, you have this creativity, you have this drive. You just don't know if this is worth doing. And I'm going to tell you that it is. As long as this is something you're passionate about, that you believe in, you have faith in, then it's something worth doing. And even if this isn't a work-related thing, you're leaving, you've left a relationship, you've left home, you've left for college, university, you've decided to start traveling abroad, you're taking this kind of leap of faith. You have to trust that as long as you're willing to, for one, educate yourself. You're willing to educate yourself. You're willing to put in the work. You're willing to put your head down and stay dedicated, but also enjoy life as it comes to you. Enjoy, see on the bright side of things, as long as you're willing to take life in its entirety, not just focus on the distraction that is obviously going to come whenever we see the tower, that you've invited into your life merely by walking away from this past thing. You're not just seeing all of the bad. You're seeing it in its entirety for what it completely is, for the good, the bad, the positive, the negative, for the lessons, for the blessings. You're not just seeing it as, I'm going to fail. You're not seeing March as the end all and be all, because you shouldn't make 1 month the end all and be all. You worked in a job for 15 years and it took you 10 years to get to a senior level, to a senior position. You were in a relationship for 3 years and it took 2 years before it became toxic, and then 1 year for you to muster up the courage to leave. So it's not going to take 1 month for you to feel strong enough to be alone. You were living at home for 21 years. So it's not going to take 1 month for you to feel comfortable living on your own. This isn't the end all and be all. Yes, it's going to be difficult, and it's fine if it's difficult. Allow it to be difficult, because it's only in this difficulty, in this pressure, in this stress, are you going to be able to grow. So many people say that if something is uncomfortable, you just need to move on and find something that's more comfortable. But a lot of other times, what actually is going to help you is pushing through and persisting and saying, this is the life I have in mind, and so I'm going to do everything in my power and ability to make this life mine. And in March, that's going to be a very big lesson for you to learn, that the happiness you seek, the success you seek, it's not going to come overnight. It's not going to come in the span of 30 days. It may for some. It definitely may for some. But not all of us are so lucky. And you shouldn't expect that same kind of outcome for you. Your amazing outcome, this happiness with your life, the success with your job, all of these things could come in the next 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 3 years. It's fine. It's slow going work that is almost always going to be the most fulfilling work. Just put your head down and persist, and take March for what it is, and that is as a month of lessons, of blessings as well. Like I said earlier, it's lessons, it's blessings, it's pushing you to become the best version of yourself. And that's something for you to be incredibly grateful for. Something for you to feel incredibly, yes, of course you're allowed to feel angry and upset and pissed off when things are difficult, but it doesn't have to be the only thing you take away from March, because March is offering so much more to you. Okay, let me see if there's any love messages coming through for you guys. Is there love coming in for group 1 this March? Okay, Queen of Pentacles. So if any love is coming through this month, I feel as if it's really self-love. Yeah, it's seeing how much you're able to do this month, seeing how far you're willing to go, how much you're able to do, how much you're able to, like how strong you are. Oh my gosh, okay, the lovers. Wow, okay. It's like you're really, okay, for some of you it is self-love, and self-love that stems from seeing how strong you are, how determined you are, how passionate you are, how much you're really willing to go, and how far you're willing to, how much you're willing to do and how far you're willing to go rather. And you become so enamored with yourself, so proud of yourself, and that builds your confidence and self-love. But for others of you it is, and we have the lovers, which is always prosperous when you ask about love. That for the others of you, this is somebody coming into your life who is very committed, very driven, very motivated. I feel like especially a lot of you are branching out into business, but this could be anyone. It could be absolutely anything that you're starting fresh on. This person is going to really motivate you towards these things, towards your goals, towards reaching your dreams. And I feel like you're going to think that it's a bit like unbelievable, too good to be true. What did you ever do to deserve this kind of person? Because especially if you've had really bad experiences with love before, you may be thinking that this is just not possible, or nobody could really love and support you like this, when it is possible, and there is very clearly someone who does love and support you like this. And okay, the King and Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like this is a really strong soulmate connection for some of you. So this love, it may not be a romantic love for everyone, but it certainly could be. It could not be a romantic, it would not be a romantic soulmate for everyone, but it could be. It's possible either way. But when you meet this person, you feel like they're your other half. The Knight of Pentacles as well. So this may be, for some of you, this is someone who you're already married to, and like you have a child together. And love for you this month is this person really supporting you in your decisions. It's coming through very strongly that this is business related, but whatever this decision is, whatever you've let go and that you're starting fresh, maybe you've decided to go on a fitness journey, maybe you've decided to completely fulfill your bucket list, maybe you've decided to pick up photo card collecting, movie collecting, a hobby that you've always wanted to fulfill. I feel like you're really going to be supported by this person. And if it's like a bit of a ridiculous, not ridiculous, like a ridiculous hobby or a more childish hobby, and you think, I shouldn't pursue this because people are going to laugh at me, my partner's going to think I'm childish, my children are going to think I'm embarrassing, but your family is really going to support you, and they're going to say, well, if this makes you happy, then why wouldn't you do this? And that's going to be really eye-opening for you, and that is also going to make you feel more confident with yourself and more confident with who you are as a person. This relationship and love in general for all of you in March is going to be, I'm hearing like level up, like it's going to really help you grow as a person, grow financially. It's going to really motivate you to work towards your dreams, because like with the Lovers and the King and Queen of Pentacles, you're going to see, and as well we also have two knights, I just noticed. So you're like the Knight of Wands, or they're the Knight of Wands and you're the Knight of Pentacles, and by you seeing how motivated they are to always strive towards their dreams and to strive towards their goals and never give up, you become really inspired to do the same, like motivated to do the same. And so this relationship that starts to blossom in March, I was going to say February, that starts to blossom in March is going to be one of one that's mutually beneficial, mutually inspiring, mutually motivating. You say you have a plan or you have an idea, and this person is going to say, great, how do we achieve this? They say, I want to do XYZ, and you say, great, let's start now. Do you see what I mean? It's going to be very mutually beneficial, mutually uplifting, mutually, it's just going to be like, it's just going to be absolutely amazing. Let me pull some cards to get like their signs, and then I will look at my letters to get some more like letters from their name, alphabets, stuff like that. So this is actually something that I started doing in my year ahead, month ahead personal readings, is where I just look at anything extra that wants to come through, and that honk felt like confirmation for you guys that this month is going to be quite difficult, but it's also going to be very blessed, like super blessed. And you may want to look out for honks and sirens this month rather, as as something that precedes something important happening. So know that when you hear honk or a siren, something important is going to happen. A manifestation is going to come into your reality, or there is movement towards your manifestations. So say you're manifesting a certain amount of money. Every time you hear a honk or a siren, that's confirmation that it's on its way to you, or that's reminding you, as people who believe in and practice law of assumption, that that's already yours. The manifestation is already yours. Let's see. Anything else for my group 1 for March? But yeah, I was saying I got cut off by the honk. That this is something I started doing in my personal readings, my month ahead, 3 months ahead, year ahead readings, where I'll just add extra, so things that don't come through in the main reading, like small things to look forward to or to look out for, and small other predictions. So for one, we have looking out for honks and sirens as confirmations. Hey, the moon. Your dreams this month. Watch out for your dreams. Pay special attention to your dreams. Anything extra for my group 3? No, my group 1. The number 333 may be important. 3, all good things come in 3. I just thought of that. Okay, so a lot of forward movement. Okay, so some extra things for you to look out for this month. First of all, divine communication, divine guidance, the honk that I mentioned earlier. Look out for messages in your dreams, communication from your dreams. There may be a deity that's trying to get through to you in your dreams, or an angel, an archangel who's trying to send you messages. Forward movement, you may be traveling. That's for some of you who are leaving home this month, or who plan to leave home this month. That's kind of confirmation that you will be traveling, and you may be able to afford the plane ticket, whereas before you thought it may be a bit out of your price range. The Four of Pentacles, is another prediction for March. Be careful of putting all of your dependence on money, or rather, don't focus too much on how much money you're making, how much money you're spending. Like, yes, you have to be wary of it and you have to be conscious of it, especially in the current global economic climate. But don't be so focused on it and so scared of it that you are subconsciously blocking money from coming towards you. So if you are somebody who practices law of assumption or believes in it, or even who just knows about it, make it like a common thing to like affirm for money, affirm for good things, affirm for blessings, affirm for success in whatever endeavor you're doing, in whatever endeavors you're going towards this month. make it a habit to affirm, because it's affirming that's really going to instill in your mind, that's going to rewire your mind that yes, you're made for success, you're made for fame, you're made for wealth, you're made for positive outcomes, you're made for all of these things, and that's going to help these things come towards you. And I know a lot of people say it's a bit ridiculous to believe that manifestations work, but they do, even if it's only to allow you to see how many blessings are actually in your life. Because even when you're thinking, oh, I'm never making money, I'm never succeeding, you're manifesting that into your life by only focusing on the bad. And I don't want to say you make these things happen to you, because that's not true. It's more as when you focus on the good, you start to see how many good things are in your life and how many ways to bring more good things into your life. When you focus on how much money you're making, like in a positive way, then you start to see how many more opportunities there are for you to make money. You start to take the risks needed for you to push yourself out there to make money. Whereas when you focus so much on how you're not making money, you start to do things from a place of desperation, a place of guilt, a place of fear and anger and regret, and you start to miss out on a lot of opportunities. And like, I'm not saying this from a place of privilege, like at all, but I know from my own experience, when I was going from a place of like, not poverty mindset, because I know how much hearing people say poverty mindset when I was doing really bad financially would like fuck me up bad. It would piss me off so bad. But when I was kind of in this mindset of only focusing on how much money I didn't have, every time I put myself out there to try and make more money, it wouldn't do well. It was like I was so desperate and I was so unsure of how things were going to turn out that I would push away opportunities for me to actually make money. Even if that was just me subconsciously sending out a message to the universe that I didn't trust them to help me financially. And then when I started really believing that I'm always making money, I always succeed, I always do well financially, my business, my tarot, it always goes well, that's when I really started to see successes. I started to really do well. And am I where I want to be? No, not yet. But I'm so much further from where I was when the only thing on my mind was how bad things are. And if you heard a thumping sound, I'm so sorry. I'm hitting against the couch. I talk a lot with my hands. But yeah, so I really want that to be something you focus on this month, to try and rewire how you think about your finances, how you think about money, how you think about not just your finances and money, but how you think about the negative things in your life. And that's not to say you can't have negative emotions. You can manifest positive things, good things from a place of sadness, a place of anger, a place of regret. But think in your favor at least. It doesn't hurt to ever think in your favor. Think that you're wealthy, think that you're successful, think that you have the friends that you want, think that you have the support you want, the love that you want. Think in your favor and watch how those things start to manifest into your life, or at least how you start to notice these things more often in your life. And oh my gosh, the way I could talk for hours about manifestation, but now is not the time. Now it's absolutely not the time. But yeah, let's see what other things are coming towards you in March. Okay, so I'm going to pull from my letters, the way I love to pull from this bag, but I don't incorporate it enough. Okay. March, so my pick one, please. Hey, I am Let me pull 4 more letters. March, please, for my group 1. Okay, so it's not clear at all, but I hope that it will be when I edit. But for now, we have the letters IAHSBUUAAADO. So this could be anything. It could be more confirmation about whether this is meant for you or not. It could be your initials, the initials of the person I spoke about. It could be initials of someone in your family. It could be like, if, for example, if the thing you're leaving behind this month is a home or a person, it could be their initials. It could be the letters in your business, if that's what you're starting this month, or if what you're pursuing this month. So you know this. So I'm just going to say what I see, but ultimately you'll know if this is confirmation or not. Also, this is not the end all and be all of this reading. If you resonated with the rest of the reading, but you don't see anything relevant here, that doesn't negate this reading. It doesn't make this reading not for you. At the end of the day, use your discernment and trust yourself. But yeah, so the first thing I really saw was ash, the ASH. I'm also noticing now that it's AHS, so it may be American Horror Story. That may be relevant for you. Ash may be a name, it may be in your name. You may also want to just be careful of fire this month. I see a lot of you may be burning your hand, so just be careful about that. Bush, going on a trip. For those of you especially traveling, you may be doing like a safari trip, or you may be going to like a swamp, or you may be camping this month. Bush, also we talk about like, that could be a name, obviously. It also could be like, you know, pubic hair, that kind of bush. IAHSBUUAAADA. There's a lot of U's and a lot of A's, so that may be initials. Or maybe letters in your name. Buddha. You may be quite spiritual, or you may be going down a more spiritual path this month, exploring Hinduism this month. Again, if you're traveling, you may be traveling to like an ashram, or you may be traveling to India. And again, when we see major arcana like this, we take it as, at least the way I learned it was to take it as external involvement, divine involvement, or whatever that external involvement is. And for some of you who are going down the spiritual path, traveling to have this more spiritual experience, then you may be finding a new patron saint, a new deity, a new religion, even completely converting this month, which I wish you all the best with. Bia, maybe you might want to listen to some of her music. BIA, Bia. There's like never this much noise that early in the day, or like at this time of the day. So maybe also take the ice cream truck as kind of a confirmation, or add that to one of the things. So if you hear ice cream truck, if you hear a honk, like a car honk, like out of nowhere, or if you hear a siren, take that every time as confirmation that your manifestations are already yours, or are on your way to you, whatever your manifestation belief is. Especially if it's difficult for you to believe in your manifestations if you're not seeing them, then take it as confirmation that it's on its way to you. Ado, kind of making a fuss about something, or I'm thinking much ado about nothing, which I didn't actually read the play, but you may be making this, you may be thinking that you may be blowing this month out of proportion. And yes, it's difficult, yes, it's really tough, but know that it's going to get better. If don't think that a hiccup in March means a failure of your plan. Okay? Even one of the ladies who work here just said bye. So yes, I also first read this as adieu. So you also have to say goodbye to your old self this March, and March is really going to offer you an opportunity to do so, to really rediscover yourself and rediscover your values, or find new values. Like really rediscover yourself, rediscover your values, rediscover what you stand for, and just evolve, or at least start evolving into someone new this month. Okay, wow. I think I am going to close your reading here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for trusting me to be a reader. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, or you would like to leave a tip, you can find the links to do so in the description box below. And while you're there, check out my social media. I'm on Twitter and Tumblr at Tarot with Love. Alright, bye. Hello my group 2. If you are here, it means you've chosen this beautiful 8 of Wands. Let's see what March has in store for you. So I'm going to try and make this as in-depth as possible. And if certain messages come through in the first shuffle, I will also ask particular questions, like just say your first cards are all love, then I'll ask about career, and then I will end the reading with extra information that doesn't come through. Okay, so for my last videos, I have made it a habit to shuffle and pull before recording, but I'm just so in love with this deck. Like, I just know I had to shuffle live and connect with your messages live. So let's see, what does March have in store for my group 2? Okay. Alright, okay. So, in particular, I feel like this message, well, first of all, we should talk about the Eight of Wands. So, the Eight of Wands is a card of forward movement, forward progress. It's your sign that you're like almost at the finish line. You're almost there. You just need to put in a bit more work, a bit more effort, especially with Temperance if you're patient. And that's like the biggest theme for you for March, is that if you just put in the work, you are going to be seeing like amazing, wonderful outcomes. With the Emperor, I'm seeing with the Emperor, we're seeing that you're going to need to be much more stoic this month, much more committed this month. I feel like this message is very strongly for people who are still studying, who may have just started college or university, or who may be finishing high school, or whatever it is, really, whatever level of education you're on at the moment. I feel like this is particularly for people who are in the education sphere, in whatever level you're still getting your education. It could also be for some of you who are working. Maybe you're working really hard to get a promotion, so that's your graduation for you. And now I'm thinking of as soon as I said I got the song Graduation by NCT Dream in my head, and so I feel like that's confirmation that it's for a lot of you who are kind of graduating to the next level, whether that's a new grade, whether that's your graduation and completing of your studies, whether that's a promotion. And so this month you're expected to just I don't want to say put your head down, because I think you're also expected to be more outgoing and open about your pursuits and what you're working towards. So say you want this promotion like really badly. You can't get this promotion by doing the same thing as everyone else, by being invisible in your workplace, by doing what's the opposite of be above and beyond? Like, what's the opposite of above and beyond? Below and behind? Like, you can't do that and expect to get the promotion you have your eye on. If you want to get top of your class, even if you want to graduate with honors, if you want to graduate if you want to graduate with like in the top 10, you can't do that by opening your book on a Friday night. Do you know what I mean? You have to be consistent. You have to be absolutely committed to this goal. And with the Five of Pentacles, we also have to consider sacrifice. How committed are you to this goal? And are you committed enough that you're willing to let other things slide? Like, are you willing to let friendships take a toll? Are you willing to let relationships take a toll? Like romantic relationships, familiar relationships, the relationship with yourself. Because how important is this thing to you? And I don't want you to push yourself. I think that this card is coming out as a warning, that you can go after your pursuits, you can go after your dreams, you can go after this promotion, this graduation, this new career. You can go after all of the things you want to go after. Confirmation. You can go after all of the things you want to go after, but you also have to find a limit, because with also the Four of Cups, in line with the Five of Pentacles, we're seeing that if you spend so much time focusing on how things are, on this deadline, on this goal, on the end game, you're also going to miss out so much of your life. You're going to spend so much time working hard, putting in the hours, putting in the overtime, putting in the sleepless nights, burning the midnight oil, putting in all of this effort for this goal, that you forget to actually live your life. And you have to remember that the importance of the life we have, that you have, is to live it. You can't spend your whole life in a box, in a cubicle, in front of a computer, in front of a laptop, reading through Excel sheets, answering calls, putting together emails, reading through your notes, your textbooks. You can't do all of that all of the time. Like, it's important, definitely, and especially in the kind of world that we live in, the society that we live in, where certain papers, certain amounts of money are going to provide us with lives that are going to be comfortable for us. It's expected that you work so hard to reach this goal, this end game, this target, but you also have to remember to live your life. Like, yes, with the Eight of Pentacles, we see that you're working on your craft in March, but you're going to also have to reevaluate in March whether, like, what is the point of working on your craft to such an extent that you don't get to enjoy the fruits of your craft? Do you know what I mean? What is the point on getting the promotion that by the time you get the promotion, you're so drained, you're so exhausted, you're so burnt out, you're so overworked that you can't even enjoy the extra money you're making? What is the point of graduating top of your class if you, like, almost ran into traffic? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm being a bit exaggerative, but also not, because that's the real life pressures that comes with working so hard. So you have to kind of find that sweet balance, that happy medium, and that's going to be very important for you in March. And I feel like in March you're going to kind of be pushed towards, or like kind of forced to find this balance, this medium. And that may be because you're so exhausted you faint, or you're so burned out you can't concentrate, you're so ambitious and so driven that it becomes a fault. And that's not a fault on you. It's incredibly admirable to be so driven, to work so hard towards this goal. But also, like, ask yourself, who are you doing this for? Is this something you really want, or something that's been instilled in you? Do you need to be top of your class because that's your desire, or because your parents told you, or taught you rather, that that's the only time they'll ever love you and feel proud of you? Kind of just question why you're working so hard towards this ideal to an extent where you're sacrificing your health, you're sacrificing your well-being, you're sacrificing your life. In a way, you're not allowing yourself to live your life. And that's going to be something that you're really going to have to face in March, in this upcoming month, as it really unfolds around you. I also just got like the strongest smell of vanilla. What is the spiritual significance, spiritual meaning of vanilla? You may want to search that, or I'll search it and I'll put a note in the description box if I remember. But yeah, really think about that in March. There's so much that you have going for you. There's so much that is like undoubtedly going to happen because you're so determined, you're working so hard. But just as much good can come from you working hard, there can also be bad. I lost how I could phrase that, how I could form that sentence. So if it doesn't sound like a proper sentence, like, my apologies. But yeah, the biggest thing for you in March is that you're going to have to learn to strike this happy medium, and you may be forced to, because another thing with the Four of Cups, you're focusing so much on, just say you're focusing so much on this promotion, and you're putting all of your time into this company, all of the, like, everything you have into this company just for somebody else to get that promotion. You're focused so hard on graduating top of your class that somebody else gets the internship that you also wanted. So you're going to have this reality check in March. That's what I was looking for. You're going to have this reality check in March that just because you're working hard doesn't mean that greatness is guaranteed for you. Doesn't mean that the best outcome is guaranteed for you. And so sometimes rather than working hard, you're going to have to work smart. Sometimes rather than working smart, you're going to have to put yourself first. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a very important lesson for you in March. Okay, let's see. Since all of this was very work related, let's see what love messages come through in March for you guys. Love messages for March come out for you guys. Well, let's see. Love for my group 2. I was almost going to say group 3. I kept almost saying group 3, even in group 1. Let's see, love messages. Is there love coming towards my group 2 in March? Okay. It's a very striking no. Five of Pentacles again. And now I'm hearing RuPaul. How the hell can, what is it? That something that's like, if nobody loves you, how can you love yourself? And I don't subscribe to that at all. I don't think it's true. I think that's really cruel to tell people that they're not worthy of love unless they love themselves, when self-love is so difficult to come by, and it's a lifelong struggle. It's a lifelong journey, and so that's really cruel. But in this regard, it's one of those things where you're so focused on the end goal, you're not giving yourself time to really focus on your own needs, to even really listen to your body and what it needs. So if you spend all of your time staying up to 1 a.m. answering calls, staying up to 1 a.m. doing work, staying up to 1 a.m. writing your essays, staying up to 1, 2, 3 in the morning, doing all of those things, why would you, like it's more important right now to focus on coming to love yourself than it is to focus on an outside love and outside relationship. And that's not to say that you're undeserving of outside love, outside relationships, not at all, but rather because I'm sitting here asking, oh, what love is coming towards my group 2 in March, it's like the divine is saying that's not important at all for your group 2, for this group. It's not important. What's more important is you trying to find a love for yourself, a home in yourself, trying to find comfort in yourself, to give yourself the things that you're depriving yourself of. Are you not sleeping enough? Are you not eating enough? Are you not showering enough? Are you not exercising enough? And obviously there's things that you can't do if you're disabled. There's things that you can't do if you're depressed. There's things that you can't do if you're spiraling. And there's no shame on you for not being able to do those things. But if you can do those things, and if you're in a place where you are able to do those things, but you're still so focused on this end goal, you're saying, I'm just going to skip lunch, or I'm going to skip supper, and I'm going to work on this project, on this assignment, on the emails my boss forwarded to me. You're going to have to reevaluate why you've put these things over your own health, over your own comfort, over your own safety in a way. And that's going to be really important for you in March. And so I can't sit here and say, oh yes, there's a handsome young man, he's so tall, and you're going to meet in a thunderstorm, and he's going to give you a pet rabbit or whatever, because that's not true, and that's unrealistic, and it's idealistic. Because even if there was someone coming into your life, you're so focused on this end goal that you don't see them. They could be talking to you every day, flirting with you every day, and in your mind you're just like, end goal, end goal, end goal, promotion, 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 graduation, graduation, graduation. Whatever this end goal is, that's the only thing on your mind. Fame, fortune, graduation, whatever it is, that's the only thing on your mind. And so maybe you have this desire for love, for this relationship, but it's not going to actualize in your life, and it shouldn't even be a main focus in your life right now, because you need to, I don't want to say you need to focus on yourself, because that's also cruel, that's really harsh, but you need to find a way to feel comfortable with being by yourself. And that's difficult, especially when you're craving love, when you're craving romance. It's difficult, but it's also important, because I feel like you're the kind of person who, if you started being in a relationship right now, you would become a version of yourself that that person wants you to be, and not yourself. And so you need to really focus on finding yourself and kind of healing from whatever state of mind you have grown into, you have succumbed to, because of the pressures of life, the pressures of expectations. And so that's going to be really, 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 really important for you in March, more than wondering about any relationship. And for a lot of you, like, I didn't want to talk about it, but a lot of you may be suffering with an eating disorder, whether that's starvation based or binge based, or whether it's like eating disorder non-identified. What's EDNO stand for again? But like whether it's one of like that EDNOS kind of things, and that may be something that you're struggling with, and the only thing in your mind is like that goal weight, that ultimate goal weight, and that's all you can think about. And so more than making this your, more than thinking that, oh, if I just find someone to love me at this weight or whatever, then, or if I can just find someone to love me, then that's proof that the work I've been putting in is working, you know, like the weight loss has made me beautiful, and now I'm beautiful. And you don't need somebody to confirm that for you, okay? Because you are beautiful. And what's more important for you, it may even be in March, is starting that therapy session, or joining a anonymous group for helping, like an eating disorder anonymous group. I don't know if they have those. I don't think they have those in my country, but I don't know, they may have that wherever you're from, to kind of take those first steps to kind of change the way you've been living. And it may be something you've had in mind since the time you were a child. You may have always been pressured to live your life a certain way. You may have pressure to think about yourself in a certain way, or you may have been influenced rather to want these things and desire these things and make these things your whole life. And what's really important for you in March is to reevaluate why you believe the things you believe about yourself, or about your goals, or about your future, and what you can do to really change why you believe the things you believe. And for some of you, that may be I feel like if that's available to you, it would be therapy or online forums that are there to guide people, or even just talking to like a close elder that you trust, like a professor or something, if this is very academically related. Do you know what I mean? Like really just reaching out and being very conscious and intentional about trying to break this pattern. Okay, so I'm going to look at a few extra messages, and then I'm going to I'm going to like pull out letters to see what other messages come through. Okay, extra predictions for my group 2's March. Extra predictions for my group 2's March, please. Two of Swords. Okay, so being torn between a decision, between two options. Extra predictions for my group 3's March. Oh, okay. Extra predictions for my group 3's March. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Swords. So you may be caught in a lot of arguments this month, whatever they may be, a lot of tension between you and other people, especially if you're putting all of these other things first. They may think that you're ignoring them, abandoning them, you're not giving them the attention they need and deserve, and that may be difficult for you. So there may also be a lot of friendships ending this month. They may be, if you're in a romantic relationship, that may be ending this month. I looked over and I saw the Jodi Picoult book Salem Falls, and rather than that book, it made me think of Salem the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So watching any of those shows, especially I feel like the animated cartoon, may be really important for you this month. You might find a lot of comfort in it. Also, crying a lot this month, getting into an argument. Some of you may be like really passionate about this thing, like graduating or getting this job or getting this promotion, because you really want to move away from home, because home may be like unstable. Like there may be a lot of arguments. It just may not be a good environment where you can flourish. So that may be one reason why you're so focused on moving out, which I 100% understand why that would be important for you. Ballerina, some of you may be ballerinas, because I saw the ribbons and I just thought of like tying ballet shoes. That may also be something you want to look into this month, like ballet, starting ballet classes. It may be something that can take your mind off of this main goal, but also keeps you productive and keeps you active, so you don't feel like you're wasting time, which I feel like will be a very big feeling, especially if you're very used to being on the go all the time. So you may want to look into ballet. With the two choices, you may be deciding like, do I do ballet or do I do modern contemporary classes? Do I travel abroad or do I travel to another city? Like those kind of things, making those kind of decisions. Also, yeah, with the Five of Swords, a lot of arguments, a lot of tension with people, especially if you're thinking about you missing the promotion or missing a really big opportunity because of how focused you are on something. You may also just be missing a chance to travel abroad because you don't have a passport. So that's also something you may want to look into this month, is if you don't have a passport, to really start the process of getting your passport done. That's something you should do this month. What else? Okay, let's look at your letters. Oh, where is my bag of letters? Okay. I feel like with the Five of Cups, this person you're getting into an argument with in particularly, obviously it's different for all of you, but it may be a best friend for some of you. And this may be someone you thought would always be by your side, always be supporting you, and when they see how like how self-destructive your behavior has become, and you're not listening to advice, you're not listening to guidance, they're like they hate to leave you, but they also know they can't help you anymore. And so it's difficult for them, but they have to make a decision that's ultimately best for them. And that's also going to be hard for you, but that's also something that's kind of going to force you to reevaluate if you're happy with the way you're living your life, and if the way you're living your life is the way you want to live your life. And I'm now thinking about the book Winter Girls by Laurie Halse Anderson, which was like my absolute favorite book as a child. It was like I used to read it all the time, and that may also be a book that holds a lot of important messages for you. Okay, let's see. March for my group 2. Let me get 3 more letters. Oh, okay, the one fell, but it was green, so you won't take it. I'll just look for it when I'm done. Okay, so it's not clear at all, but the letters are V-A-U-T, E-A-H-D-B-A-W-T. So this could be anything. I'm just going to say what I see, but this could be confirmation for you. It could be your initials, the letters in your name, the letters of your job, the letters of your school, just words that hold special meaning to you. But I'm just going to say what I see and interpret it as however I interpreted it. I also want to note that this is not the end all and be all, so if you resonate with the rest of the reading but not with this, it doesn't negate the fact that this is your reading. Use your discernment and trust that if this reading is for you, then it's for you. Okay, so yeah, like I said, V-A-U-T-E-A-H-D-B-A-W-T, and the first thing I really thought of when I saw the first row was vault. So you may be a gymnast, you may be getting into gymnastics this month. That may also be something that's good for you to like keep you active, but also keep you away from all of this work. So vault, bat, haute couture. Fashion may be your passion. You may be like working really hard to be a model or to get into the modeling industry. Eat, tea, vet. DUT, tutorials. Your tutorials may be stressing you out this month. AU, you may consider or be considering moving to Australia. EA, yeah, okay. I think I'm going to close the reading off here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for trusting me to be a reader. If you would like to book a reading with me or to leave me a tip, you can find the links to do so in the description box below. And while you're there, you can also find links to my social media. I'm on Tumblr and Twitter at Tarot with Love. Alright, bye. Hello, my group 3. If you are here, it means you've chosen this beautiful Justice card. Let's get into what March has in store for you. Okay, so usually, or for my last few videos at least, I've gotten into the habit of shuffling and pulling beforehand, but just because I'm so in love with this deck and I love how it shuffles and I feel so much more connected with it if I shuffle live, I thought that I would just do that I will shuffle live for you guys. So let's see my group 3. Also, did I say group 3 in the beginning? I'm not sure. If I didn't say group 3 in the beginning and I said another group, I'm so sorry, my group 3. Also, I'm going to try and make this reading as in-depth as possible. So if I miss out anything, like in the main reading, I will include it in the end, like by asking specific questions or looking for any extra predictions that come through. Okay, what does March have in store for my group 3? Oh, let me light another candle. 1 second. Okay, that looks good. So where was I? Yeah. What does March have in store for my group 3? Okay. Okay, so first of all, we should talk about justice, which is the card that you chose, that you felt drawn to. And with justice, we're seeing a certain fairness come into play. First of all, we're seeing Libra energy, but we're also seeing a certain fairness coming into play. Equality, we're seeing maybe the admittance or the telling of harsh truths. We're seeing, or rather than harsh truths, necessary truths, truths that you need to hear in order to grow, in order to be a better person in whatever way that could be. And with justice, it's also a justice, a sense of justice. And I'm hearing that line from is it Plan B? No, but it's a Megan Thee Stallion song. God, I pray you put who did me wrong where they deserve to be. And so it's that sense of justice of things that are owed to you being, or of you getting what's owed to you. The people who wrong you send you evil eyes, send you evil energy, of them getting what they deserve. And that's an interesting energy to go into March with. But besides that, though, that could be very relevant. How do I say this? It's not going to be an easy month, and it's not going to be an easy month for any of the people in the group. I think the collective energy right now, while prosperous, is one that is pushing us to be better, pushing us to evolve, pushing us to actualize our goals. And it's always difficult to become the person who can actualize their own goals. And so with Libra, we're seeing you coming into this energy of fairness, but we're also seeing the tables turn. And I feel like that's something that's very important. We're seeing also with our figure holding a scale, we're seeing the weighing of two options, and this theme of options is also carried into your actual reading, or into the major part of your reading, with the 7 of Cups. And with the 7 of Cups, we're seeing an overwhelming amount of options. And while for the previous two, it was more related to like career, job, those kind of things, with you, your main reading is very much about love. And you may right now be thinking about like choosing between two people, or you may be fantasizing about love, but the way you go about actualizing love, or the way you go about bringing love into your 3D, into your reality, is it's not aligned with your actual desires. So say that you want genuine romance, but you spend your whole day, or you spend your whole pursuit of romance on online dating. You spend it on Tinder, on Bumble, on Hinge, and that's your options. Like, there's too many people to choose from, but because you have all of these people to choose from, you're not seeing, how do I say this, like, you're missing out on the people who are meant for you. And also with Tinder and like online dating, you're only seeing a picture, and not everybody photographs well, not everybody knows their angles, not everybody has a good quality phone. So you're seeing this very one or two dimensional view of this person, and you're basing your whole you're basing your whole you're basing all of your feelings towards them just on this. So you're missing out, you're swiping on people who don't have nice pictures, you're swiping around people who have nice pictures but they're horrible people. You're making online dating your main focus when that's not where you're going to find love. And for others of you who are already in a relationship and who are choosing or like trying to decide between this person and another one, or between two people, maybe you're being forced to make this choice between staying with your current partner or going back or going to a completely new partner. It's kind of like it's occupying your mind completely, and it's going to occupy your mind a lot in March as well. And I think that's very valid. But when you're choosing, because as we see with the Nine of Swords, we see someone who's like completely distraught. We see someone who's up having nightmares, who's experiencing insomnia, and I feel like that's a stage you could be in. The deeper and deeper you allow yourself to overthink these things, the deeper and deeper you allow yourself to get invested into all of these options, that you become so overwhelmed. I feel like I'm talking in circles. I always feel like I'm talking in circles and like I'm never making sense. So I just hope that you guys know what I mean. But I will eventually come back to this point and eventually re-articulate myself, or try to articulate myself in a more understandable way, because this is also the first time I'm seeing these cards. So a lot of this is me trying to understand where my mind is and what the messages I'm getting are, so that I can give you the best message. And I also feel like that bird was confirmation that we're at least on the right path and understanding what we're saying, or that I'm at least giving you guys the right message. I'm not like completely fucking this up. But yeah, so you have all of these options, and whether that's you doing the online dating thing, or whether you doing whether you're in a relationship and you're trying to choose between other people, there's this general theme for March that this is going to be the biggest thing occupying your mind. This love, your romantic, what you perceive as romantic failings, this turmoil, this desire to be cared for, this desire to be chosen, this desire to be taken on dates, to choose the right one, all of these desires. And it can get to a point where this desire is bigger than you. This desire is more than you can manage. And it's okay to have these desires, of course. But if you're up at 3 a.m., 3 in the morning, unsure of why love isn't coming into your life, wondering which of these two people you should choose, tossing and turning, unable to sleep, having nightmares, then you may want to really step away from the situation and reevaluate your relationship to love, your relationship with relationships, and figure out why you've made love this thing in your life that's so much bigger than you, why you've made this relationship something that's so complicated, complex, unattainable, unbelievable in a way. And really weigh your options well, as we see with justice as well. Weigh your options and decide if, also with justice, I keep hearing liberty. So weigh your options and weigh whether it's best for you to stay in the situation or to leave. And also, especially for those of you who are dating, and you're doing the online thing, or you're And you may be thinking, okay, you're going to give up on dating. With the Three of Wands, the Five of Wands, we're seeing that it's not dating that's the issue, it's your approach to dating. So if you're a romantic, if you want romance, then you're not going to find that online. You're not going to find that with somebody you're swiping on. You need to take a new approach to dating. You need to find it as a challenge that's going to, you need to find it like challenging rather than burdening, rather than overwhelming. You need to see it as something that's fun to do. And so whether that's doing mixes, doing blind dates, doing matchmaking services, going out with friends, having fun, and taking that approach to dating rather than sitting in your room at 3 a.m. bored and swiping on people, or sad and swiping on people and having a half-hearted conversation. You're going to really need to reevaluate these things in March. Because also with the Seven of Swords, we're also seeing a lot of deceit, and that's something that's very possible to do when you meet someone online for the first time. Yes, it's easy in person, but it's easier online. And also, for those of you who are choosing between two people, one of them is going to be someone who is less trustworthy than the other. And so before you really choose, again, weigh your options, your pros and cons. Ask your friends what's their opinion. Do they know anything bad about either of these options? And trust your friends and their input. But also at the end of the day, you're going to have to weigh the options for yourself and trust yourself. So take their input, but trust yourself. And so that's a very big theme for you guys. Like romance is like super big theme for you guys. And for those of you who are kind of having a difficult time with dating, it's not that you need to give up on dating, it's that you need to change your approach to dating, and you need to put yourself out there more. Take it as a challenge, take it as fun. Be like, fake it till you make it. Fake that confidence, fake that experience, fake that expertise, rather than just waiting for it to fall in your lap, or waiting for somebody who's on Tinder, and a lot of the men on Tinder especially are not there for romance, waiting for that person to conform to your ideals. And for those of you who are choosing between two people, don't make a decision that's just like on a whim. Don't choose someone who can don't choose one person just because they're more financially well off, the same way you wouldn't choose another person just because they're more physically your type. You have to weigh the odds and see between the two who can satisfy you more, who can make you happier, who can actually bring fulfillment into your life, who can like have a good, fulfilling partnership with you and not just drag you down. So that's the biggest prediction for March is that you guys are going to be very busy in the love department. And also, I feel like I was rushing a bit, and I don't think I was rushing in all of these readings. So yeah, just very on the go. And that may also be a reason why the Nine of Swords comes out, like this card with her sitting up and like insomnia and miserable and crying at night, because like maybe this is the only time you have to think about the situation. Like the whole day you're running around, you're doing your thing, you're busy, you're active, you're working, you're going to work, you're going to school, you're going out with friends, whatever, and then you come home late at night and you're like, I don't have anyone to cuddle with, I don't have anyone to hold, or oh, I'm cuddling with this guy but I want to be with that guy, or I want to be with that guy, that kind of thing. So this month, just really reevaluate, weigh your options, and consider if your heart is in the right place, and if the hearts of the people you're dating and interacting with this month, this could even be friendships. Like consider if you want friends, if you want like good strong friend groups, you're going to have to put yourself out there. You can't just sit and wait for people to befriend you, because yes, sometimes that works, but also a lot of times you're going to have to take initiative, because people are really scared to put themselves out there as friends, to say let's be friends, because there's something so like kind of embarrassing and too vulnerable about opening up about friendship, in a way where it's not so embarrassing to approach someone in that way about romantic interest. So sometimes, like, if you want close friends, if you want that friendship, you want that friend group, you're going to have to take risks. You're going to have to take risks, whether it's for love, whether it's for friendship, whether it's even for trying to be more what's the word, like trying to, not closer, but there's another word I'm thinking of, but be more familiar with your superiors or your professors or whoever. You're going to have to put yourself out there. You can't just wait for things to happen to you. You can't go about your life and then at midnight think, oh, why am I not getting the job opportunities? Why don't I have the friend group? Why don't I have a partner? When you don't put yourself out there for these things to happen to you. Okay? So now let me ask about career and studies, or just career in general, because usually career and studies coincide. And then we'll look at extra. Okay, career for my group 3 in March. Emperor. Career and studies for my group 3 in March. Career and academics for my group 3 this March. Okay, so in general, you guys are going to have a lot to celebrate this month. I see you're like super focused on your career or your academics, whatever it may be, and you know what you want, and so you've become really determined to have this. And that may also be why your love life or your friendships have taken the back burner, because, or is it taking the back seat, being placed on the back burner? But why your friendships and your relationships have become the way they've become, because you've been so focused on work, or you've been so focused on studies and academics and really leveling up in that aspect of your life, that love and relationships never seemed that important, and that even while you desire it, you feel as if you're too busy and too focused on these things, on this career, on this academics, on these other pursuits, to really have, or to really give relationships the time and mind space that they demand. And so even though you look for someone to date and you think about dating, it's kind of like an imaginary fantasy what if, even if you don't admit to yourself that you can't really see it as a reality and it's more of just a fantasy. And that's fine as well. And in March, again, like I said, a lot of celebrations. So you may get a promotion. I also heard driving test. So you may pass your driving test this month. You may get your license this month. So that's also your studies, your a pilot test as well. So whatever you're studying towards this month, I feel like that's confirmation as well. Whatever you're studying towards this month, your efforts are really going to pay off. You're going to get that license. You're going to ace that test. You're going to finish your degree. You're going to ace your college entrance exams. I actually don't know when college entrance exams are written, but maybe you're getting your results and you're getting your acceptances. So that's really fun. Also with the 6 of Cups, if you're struggling with anything professionally, academically, there may be someone that from childhood or someone from your past that you can really ask for help. Don't do things on your own. Don't just rely on yourself. If you're struggling, if you're unsure about how to do a task, how to work on something, there's always someone who can help and who wants to help you. So rely on them, because they'll come towards you eagerly, like absolutely eagerly. But yeah, so academically, professionally, there's a lot to look forward to. You're going to be very busy, and I just want to say that like it's okay, like it's absolutely okay for you to have these kind of worries about relationships and to have these feelings of these desires, and you shouldn't belittle yourself for those kind of desires, because it's absolutely normal. And you also are going to have a lot to celebrate this month. Your hard work is paying off, and if you choose to put yourself out there and really embrace new avenues, really embrace new things, going out to like joining a social club, a book club, going out to cafes, going out more with, or just going out by yourself. It's always okay to go out by yourself, especially if you're looking for a new friend group. Put yourself out there, put yourself in situations where you can meet people. because people are not just going to walk into your life. You know, they may, but not always, and they're not going to just walk into your home now, are they? So don't be embarrassed or scared to put yourself out there, because it's going to pay off. And don't worry that your hard work isn't going to pay off either, because it will. Okay, let's see what other extra messages come through. Okay, extra predictions for my group 3's March. Extra predictions for my group 3's March. The Hierophant. Extra predictions for my group 3's March. Okay. Extra predictions for my group 3's March. Okay, so spending a lot of time learning, educating, reading. If you've been trying to get out of a reading slump, you may finally come across the book that takes you out of that slump. If you would listen to my recommendation, I 100% recommend The Night Circus by Erin, because that's one of the books that got me out of my reading slump. And also The Good Son by jeong-jeong. Absolutely beautiful, amazing, well-written books, the both of them. I'll put the titles in the description box as well. So yeah, you may be trying to get out of a reading slump this month. You can try small. You can reread books that you read as a child. There's no shame in that. Spending time with an older person who can offer you guidance, offer you support, offer you help, especially if you're dealing with a lot of stress regarding work and academics. This person can really offer you a lot of advice, if not just offer you like a safe space where you can rant and like get things off of your mind, get things off of your chest. With the 9 of Pentacles, very interesting that this card came out in reverse, because I just got this deck today. I've shuffled it normally. I haven't done anything to lead to like the cards being mixed, coming out in reversals or whatever. So it's interesting that this came out in reverse, but also a feeling of dissatisfaction this month, and that may be with your finances. You may not be very happy with where your finances are at the moment, or where they are at in March. Maybe you overspent in February, and so you're not sure how to get back to where your savings were before you spent so much. You're not sure how you're going to build your savings up again, or you're just not sure how you're going to make the kind of money that you want to be making. With the 3 of Cups again, we're seeing celebration parties. This is also a friendship group, so you may fall into a friendship group if that's what you're looking for, or you may just be spending a lot of time with your friends, with your sisters, with your family members. An engagement party. Somebody may be getting engaged, and either that's your engagement party or you're going to somebody else's engagement party. What else? Yeah, even with the 2 cats, in traditional tarot, when we look at the traditional imagery, we also consider it, or you can also consider it as somebody, like officiating a marriage. And so yeah, engagement, marriage, it's a big theme. Somebody close to you may be getting engaged, maybe getting married, and that's the celebration where you're going to this wedding or this engagement party. What else? Library trips, coffee trips. You may, if you're looking for love and you're trying new ways of putting yourself out there, you may even like meet your next partner at the library or at a bookstore, like have a very cute meet cute moment. Some of you may be drinking for the first time this month, so turning like the legal age in your country, 18, 19, 21. I'm not sure if I know 18 is South Africa, I think 19 is South Korea, and then 21 is the States, but I may be wrong. But yeah, so that may be the celebration. It's like this big party or this milestone birthday. So happy birthday if that resonates with you. And be safe, know your limits, or at least be with people who can help you if you overstep those limits, and people you trust. Okay, let's pull some letters from my bag of charms. Oh, one already fell out. D. Okay, so let's see. DH. V. Okay, that's too many. That's way too many. Okay. I'll just take these ones. Oh, well, I guess they came out, so we'll take all of them. Oh, well, it's only 2 extra. Never mind. Okay. So, I doubt this is clear. But we have DHVGLDYIHOVBJF. So these could be your initials. It could be the initials of the person you're meeting this month. It could be initials of your school, the letters of your school. It could be anything. I'm just going to say what I see. You may find letters or words that are significant and relevant for you. I also want to note that this isn't the end all and be all of this reading. If this reading resonated with you but you can't find anything significant here, that doesn't negate the fact that this is your reading. It's still your reading. Just use your discernment, and if you feel like this is for you, then it's for you. Yeah. So DH, I think there's only 2 vowels here. I and O. We have did, gid, giddy. Just feeling really happy this month. Also giddy, maybe if you're getting tipsy or drunk. And DIY. Yeah, DIY. Working more with your hands this month, picking up a new hobby this month. Also with picking up a new hobby, you could find new friends and a new partner through this hobby. So just say you pick up knitting and you join a knitting club, or you pick up crochet and you start hanging out with people in your community who crochet, and in that way you can really form a friendship with the people, that even if it starts off awkward and as acquaintances, you can really. Now I'm thinking of, what is that book, the Jane Eyre book society. Oh my gosh, that may also be, it may be a book club with the Hierophant. It may be a book club that really brings you into, that really gives you a space to find new friends, find new love. So consider a book club if that's something you're interested in. JFK traveling. Isn't there a JFK airport in the States? I'm not sure. I think there may be. So you may be traveling this month or taking a trip this month. I'm so sure there's a JFK airport. I have no idea. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but I feel like you're taking a trip this month. VJ, going vegetarian this month, or trying more vegetarian meals, cooking more, going to cooking classes. Yeah. So I'll just say the letters again, in case you won't see them, but I hope that you'll see them after I edit the video. DHVGLDYIHOVBJF. Okay. So I think I will end your reading here. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for trusting me to be your reader. If you would like to book a reading with me, or you would like to leave a tip, you can find the links to do so in the description box below. And while you're there, check out my social media. I'm on Twitter and Tumblr at Tarot with Love. Alright, bye.